Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Nancy Hugo joining us here, CKD. Yes, we're talking about her and her design company, let alone her website, DesignersCircleHQ.com. She's here to talk more about her design for kitchen and bath and all she does with Nancy Hugo, CKD. How are you?
I'm great, Jill. How are you?
Great, excited. It's our first technically official Zoom. I'm here today live with her. If you're not on the podcast, you're on the Zoomcast, you get to see her today, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little about your company that's based out of Glendale, Arizona. Tell us what you
Oh,
do.
Well, I am a certified kitchen and bath designer, but I do remodel whole houses. I've been doing this for a very long time. You can see a lot of my work on my website, nancyhugo.com. I also have an online magazine for the design community in Arizona, and that's designercirclehq.com. I also do podcasting every week. I've been doing that for about 10 or 12 years, and that's Home Design Chat with Nancy. You can find
Awesome.
that on all the platforms, the popular, I'm sure even the unpopular platforms. But yeah, I'm all over Google. Is that a good thing? I don't know.
I think it's a great thing. There's a lot to you and what you have to offer. First and foremost, let's talk about your design background, and it's nancyhugo.com. That's nancyhugo.com. Tell us about this because you've been doing this for quite some time and you're like an expert in the field.
Well, thank you. I hope everybody else thinks that.
Yes.
I know the people that I've worked with love the designs. I usually go back when the design is finished and we'll take pictures, and I'll always ask them, what would you have done different? And I never get, well, we should have done this. Because if you work with the client and you first do it on paper, which I do, and you keep working with the client to see what they like, how their lifestyle is, what their budget is, what the function of the space is, they're happy at the end. So I have no problems. The clients, I can still go back and talk to them, which is a good thing. Nobody has actually said, "Oh, I don't want to talk to her anymore." So that's good. It's a good thing. I actually specialize in the kitchen and bath area, but I have done whole houses, and I'm working on one now. I love to do spaces that fit the people's challenges. In other words, if you're short, if you're in a wheelchair, if you have some sort of matter of fact, I did one for a very tall person, and we had to raise the cabinets to the normal level is 36, and we did it to 38. So whatever the challenges are, that's where the designer should work with the end user and make them happy as they're working in their space, or when they get up in the morning and go into the kitchen or bathroom or whatever space I've done, they go, "Oh my God, this is
Uh,
so beautiful." So
oh,
that tells it all. Happy clients make me happy.
beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I mean, the work you're doing from the cabinets, the plumbing, the background. She's doing helping with the appliances, with deliveries, installation, all the projects. She's a full circle, and there's great testimonials on the website, of course, of what she does. There's great videos, the before and after galleries. I want to make sure we talk about too. You could see so much of her work there, and also in the Dream Gallery. Now, besides this, I mean, which is a lot, and I should also point out, your work is in Arizona. Do you work out of the state as well?
Yes, I actually did a kitchen in Alaska. I never visited Alaska, but I was given and worked with the clients that were here for the winter, and they gave me all the dimensions. And then we ran around looking for the cabinetry, countertops, tile, appliances, and most of it was purchased here and then shipped up there. It worked out beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And they did buy a house in Arizona, and that would be their summer house, their winter house. Most people come here for the winter, but they're opposite. And so they bought a house, and they needed some different countertops and changes in the existing kitchen. And I did that. That's beautiful. I've done a huge bathroom in Kentucky. I've done
Mm-hmm.
houses in California, Georgia, Florida, Michigan, all over. With this day and age of having the ability to take pictures, send them to me, do videos, emails, texts, phone calls, it's not impossible to do a job that's out of state.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this. And let's talk also, we'll get into some details more about your designing, but there's also a whole nother aspect to you. It's your website. Tell us what Designer Circle HQ is all about.
Well, 15 years ago, I noticed that there was nobody who knew how to network around here. And a couple of friends of mine were out of work and they kept saying, well, you know everybody, you know where they gather. What just so happens as a kitchen and bath designer, there are events in the showrooms that have the working appliances. So of course they have, you know, perfect food for these events. And so I started sending these to people information on Blogger, if you remember what Blogger was. Not the best, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then my email list went to 5. And then I decided, well, you know, I got to do something different. Anyway, skipped it today. I changed the name to, I think it was Kitchen and Bath Chatter. I changed it to Designer Circle, encompassing everybody. And I have different sections on there. And I work on that every day. So I have all the events in the design community so people can know what's going on so they can network. And I have my podcasts are on there.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute read for people who don't like to read. I'll just give them the quick, you know, what is this and what is that. I also have announcements if there's any showrooms that are closing, opening, you know, contests. And so I do it all. Send it out to almost 2,000 people every week.
Wow.
So, and then I was having happy hours every single month at the showrooms of the people who sponsor me. But it got to be really hard during COVID. And so I stopped doing those. My claim to fame was a Christmas party I had one year for 525 people. So these aren't small events, but
No.
it's fun. It's really a lot of fun.
Well, I clearly love what you do. Where did you get inspired? How did you start in the design process? You know, tell us a little bit about your background and history.
My background, well, I guess when I was a little kid, like 7 or 8 years old, I would go visit the neighbors and I would memorize their kitchens and wonder how I would change things. Believe it or not, I still remember these awful kitchens of the neighbors. And it just went on from there. You know, I worked for cabinet companies and showrooms and got my certification and, you know, it went on from there. It's fun.
It's
And it
fun.
is my passion. You know, I have to say that I think I put that tagline on everything. Design is my passion. So I started Pinterest. I didn't start it. I wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an account. And how that happened is somebody said, we're following you. And I said, well, I didn't even know what you're doing. What is Pinterest? And I did some research. I ended up knowing a lot about it. I did classes for the designers who wanted to learn how it works. And I have 28,000 followers on there. But I have to say, and I do wish I started it, Pinterest is great for people who are disorganized or if they have so much stuff and they want to organize it. Perfect. Go on to Pinterest, start an account.
Oh, that's amazing. I love Pinterest. I do. I do. It's so good. And I love the app too. And
Yeah.
you know, you clearly are passionate about this. You have a favorite aspect of your design work. Is it kitchens, is it baths, or what is it, would you say?
I would say kitchens and baths. You know, usually when you do a kitchen, people say, well, I've been asked, well, can you do a bathroom?
Hmm.
Actually, you know, those are so easy to do. They're fun, but they go hand in hand. So my favorite thing is whole house remodeling where I get a chance to change everything around. I love the open kitchen
Yep.
um, option if they can do it. You know, knocking down walls, I always say, yes, I love to do surgery in their house because knocking down walls and opening it up makes makes for the perfect home and the family getting together. It's just I don't particularly care for the houses they had years and years and
Yep.
years ago where everything is a little compartment.
Hmm.
So I think opening it up is
So you're
today's
knocking down walls.
yeah,
Yes, we love that. And
yeah,
just curious, I mean, is that part of like, how do you know if you can knock down a wall? Do you need to bring like an engineer in, or how do you figure that out? Or you're probably smart
yes.
enough, you know, you just do like a
No,
tapping here.
I don't want to take that chance.
Oh,
I
okay,
start
good,
with
good,
the
good.
contractor And then if he has to, he'll get a structural engineer. But I'm not going to take that responsibility. I always say, what do you think about taking this wall down? Of course, first I ask the homeowner. And you just want to make sure that when you take that wall down, the ceiling and the roof doesn't cave in. So
Yeah.
that might happen if you don't check on things.
Of course, right? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's always so much, and you're also even work and it can help design for those with physical challenges, which is also something unique that you do as well.
Yes. I did go through, after all these years, I went through that course CLIP, and it says certified living in place. And it goes through everything from your height to maybe if you have arthritis, or if you're in a wheelchair, or if you have neuropathy, or if you have kids and you have to kid proof your house. And so
Mm-hmm.
that covers everything. But I enjoy that because I keep saying everybody should be independent in their home and they should feel safe. Matter of fact, I just did a series of 3 podcasts with a designer who had a spinal cord. She has a spinal cord injury. She's in a wheelchair. I met her at a seminar, and we just did 3 podcasts about barrier-free designs. And that's
Mm-hmm.
on Home Design Chat with Nancy.
Ooh, look at this.
A,
See?
a little
And
commercial for me, right?
it really is. And I mean, I know we're here on the Zoom today. And did you want to share any of your work here today on the show? Do you want me to pull up some stuff?
No, I think it's easier if they just go on my website, and
Perfect.
which I should probably update one of these days.
Yep, that's fine. No, and what's the website again?
nancyhugo.com. I
Oh,
also have a Facebook, Home Design Chat with Nancy. I also have another Facebook, Nancy Hugo CKD. I think it's capital C, small k, small d, which I get confused about.
mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
on
okay.
Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn and Pinterest, as I said. So
Okay.
I think I'm all over the place.
That's okay. Well, we also love talking to you, and I love what you do for a living because I wish I could do it to my own house. But as a certified kitchen designer, it's, I feel like since the pandemic, has business increased for everyone? Does everybody want to remodel? Did people being stuck inside want to, did it make them start changing this?
Yeah, there was a point during COVID where I know I didn't want to go to everybody's house. And certain showrooms were closed, obviously. And people were spending so much time in their house, as all the articles you read about says. Oh, people are now cooking more. They're spending more time with their family. They're spending more time working from home. And so I've done different podcasts on home offices and the open floor plan. Although I got to say, some people don't like the open floor plan. They like their space. And you know what? That's what bedrooms are for.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your bedroom if you want a little privacy, but that open floor plan, which I guess has gotten a lot more popular, whether your house can afford it or not. But yeah, the good thing, COVID is gone now. At least it is in most of the parts of the world. Um, I know, some people get it, but they quickly get over it. So I'm not a
Aw.
medical person, so I don't even talk about that. But
Aw. Okay,
Jill,
great.
is your background New York City?
Yes, it is. I'm not really sitting with that behind me. It's a fake background,
I
but it sure
know.
is.
I know,
Yes.
but that's the Brooklyn Bridge, and I was
It,
born in Brooklyn, so
that's
haha.
right. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. When was the last time you were back here?
it was before COVID.
Wow.
I don't know, maybe it was 7 years ago, 6 years ago. It was it was fun. We stayed on Park Avenue one time, and I can't remember the other place, but I walked around and I actually was able to go because designers get a lot of trips through the manufacturers, and these happen to be plumbing manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
A Growy was one, Brizo was another. And so I'm walking around with people who've never been to New York City, and they all said, "Wow, this is great. Have you ever been here?" And I said, "Yeah, I worked right down the block on Madison Avenue. This is like my old stomping ground." So it was fun to go back.
I'm sure, right? But I don't know. I've been to Arizona and I feel like I could live out there.
You can.
I was going to say, what don't you miss about New York? I mean, I don't live in the city anymore, thank goodness. I can't stand the city, but is it the weather? What drove you out to Arizona?
The weather.
Okay.
Actually, I got really tired of the snow. One of my kids was, it was told to me that she was getting ear infections all the time and she's going to lose her hearing. And I thought, okay, we'll go to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the main reason. But I've been here before visiting a relative and I thought, oh, this is really cool. I like this. Uh, so I did miss the bagels in New York and the
The bagel,
pizza.
okay, is it true? Do the bagels not taste that good then in Arizona or anywhere else? Or pizza too? Come on, I didn't hear about that. I don't know if it's true.
Well, they say it's the water.
Okay.
I still have my Brooklyn accent, so it's the water, you know? But what can I tell you? There, the Italian pastry, you can't find that anywhere except New York and maybe
Yeah.
Italy. I went to Italy and I did salivate over their food. But yeah, the working in New York, in Arizona and living here, it's really, I don't particularly care for the heat, but so what? I don't shovel snow. I don't work outside. I'm not a street cleaner. And so it doesn't bother me. Everybody has air conditioning. Living here is a dream.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You gotta now in the summer, it's really not that hot, right? They say it's a dry heat.
No, it's hot. And the humidity hits in July and August. You can't get away from it. But
Got it.
like I said, when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's 110 degrees, you think, oh, yeah, I think I'll stay in for a while. But you've got air conditioning. Your house, your car, the kids' schools, all the stores. If you want to go for a walk, okay, have at it. I don't in the summer, but
Mm-hmm.
it's livable. It's fine.
Yeah.
I
Well,
invite everybody to come out here.
well, I love that about you. See, I'm gonna invite myself out of my two kids. How close are you, by the way? Now, Glendale, how close are you to like Phoenix, the main hub, I should say?
3 blocks away.
Stop it. That's where Glendale is. It's that close. So
Yeah,
Scottsdale,
yeah.
everything is local to you.
Everything is a grid.
Wow.
And Phoenix, where I live, 43rd Avenue, I shouldn't tell you this, but 43rd Avenue is the cutoff, Phoenix, and then it goes to Glendale. On the other side of Phoenix is Scottsdale. Most of my work, I mean, I go to Scottsdale once a week, so it's not that it's that far, 45 minutes of driving. We don't have great mass transit here, so, and I wouldn't take it anyway. But anyway, yeah, driving around, you don't have the parking problems that New York has. We don't have I'm not going to say it, but New York has changed. What can I tell you? I enjoy Phoenix, Scottsdale, Mesa. I mean, you name it. You can drive around and just look at the beauty. I'm sure you've heard
Mm-hmm.
of Sedona, the Red
Uh-huh. I drove my
Rocks.
mom there. Yes.
Yeah, that would take me about maybe 35 minutes to get there.
Oh, wow. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. All right. I'm planning a trip out there next year with my kids. I want them to see. I want to stay in Scottsdale area,
of
Paradise
course.
Valley. Then I want to drive to Sedona, maybe even the Grand Canyon. Is it drivable? Was it 4 hours from you? I've never been.
Now about 2.5, I guess.
That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
too
that
hot to come in the summer or?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say, unless, you really want to rough it and say, hey, I survived the Arizona heat. But May is beautiful, October, November. A lot of people come here for the holidays. We don't really have a winter. Yeah, it's cold. I always complain
Mm-hmm.
about the cold, but then by the daytime, it's in the 70s and 80s.
Got it. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all this. But back to your job and your work, what we should be talking about. But I'm like more into like, you're my friend now. I get to ask you regular questions.
Yeah. Well, our last podcast, you said you wanted to do your kitchen, and I said, okay, I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
know,
So the house I live in, it's 22 years old, I guess. I moved in. And I've live in a little community, and thank goodness, well, there was a big flood in this house supposedly, and there was like they ripped up everything. So at least I moved in with new carpets, new moldings, fresh paint, and new kitchen. But of course, as a builder, they put the cheapest cabinets in, and like I told you, everything's chipping. And I do love the travertine like backsplash, but I have these they're cheap. and they're cracking beige cabinets, so it's decent, right? But I still have like my Frigidaire, my cheap refrigerator. I would love a bigger refrigerator. I would love a big island. I have a tiny little island. And so yeah, I'm in the mood for that soon to change it up because my kitchen's just too small. Like I have a big long table in it now, and then I have this little island, which is not even a lip to put like benches on. It's so stupid just to sit there, you know? And so yeah, that's the one thing that's next on my list. We did the pool this year, last year. So I need to start thinking kitchen design. And one thing in particular, which always gets me too, I haven't done crown moldings in my house. And I always say, I'm not doing it until I do my kitchen. Here we go. In the kitchen, is it better to have cabinets that are flush to the ceiling with a crown molding or hang low? Just give me your thoughts on that.
How tall is your ceiling?
Oh
Oh,
gosh. Like
from the floor, you know?
it's
Is it
probably like
8 feet, 10
it's
feet?
probably 10 feet.
And when was your house built?
1999 or 2000. It's oh gosh, it was yeah, it's 24 years old, I guess. It was 2000, I guess. Yeah. The whole
Yeah.
community was built then.
Most of those in those days, it was an 8 foot ceiling. But if it's a 10 foot ceiling, you can go with 36-inch high cabinets or 42-inch high cabinets and then go with a heavy crown mold if you're a traditional or transitional person.
Yeah, I don't know what I am, but I just keep looking at beautiful pictures. And I think I like when they're flush to the ceiling bit. But then I also worry about, am I ever going to use that top cabinet? Is it too, you know?
I know, but you know, there are certain ways you can take care of that space. I know I'm working on that house that has a 12-foot ceiling, and we did stack 18-inch cabinets next on top of the 36, and then we did heavy crown mold. We do have some space above there,
Mm-hmm.
but if you have a tall ceiling, you know, say you have
Yep.
14, 12, 14, you don't want to go all the way up there because it's going to feel too heavy for the room. So some space is nice, and you can also run some lighting behind the crown mold, just for mood lighting. I don't know. I'd have to look at your kitchen and see how we can do surgery on it.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some pictures. And does it start that way? Do people just come to you, just email you, send you a picture? And is that the beginning process?
Well, typically my clients live in Arizona, so I would get a phone call. I go look at
Mm-hmm.
the kitchen. We talk about what their wish list is. I always say, especially with you, Jill, start collecting some of those ideas, like from Pinterest or anything, and put them in a folder.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually on Pinterest, you can start your own private board. And then you want to post in your private board everything you like. And you can also divide them into categories: cabinets, countertops, tile, whatever. And that's, as I keep saying, designers don't have ESP. We like to see what you like. And then our job is to make you happy, put it all together, make sure it works. If you like something that doesn't work, I will tell you it's not going to work. What if we do this or what if we do that? But the whole idea is to get your wish list, how you want the kitchen to work, you know, whether you cook or not,
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to blend in with the rest of the house. And then you always have that old budget you have to think of too.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, let me ask this, Nancy. You are, oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. But it always
Wow.
happens, doesn't it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what did you want to talk about the last few minutes? Forget my question, which I forgot anyway.
Well, since I'm not going to go to New York again, probably in my lifetime, Jill, you better call me when you come to Scottsdale.
I
I
will.
would like everybody to realize that designers, most designers, including myself, love to make people happy. We design with a passion, and I don't do anything that people don't like. In other words, if if I think, oh, well, this will work great in your kitchen, and the homeowner doesn't think so, the communication is very important. I'm not going to walk away
Yep.
and they're going to say, wow, she did something that I didn't like. The whole idea is to make people happy. They're
Mm-hmm.
spending a lot of money in their house. They want it to work, they want it to be
Yep.
functional, and they want it to be beautiful.
We all do, right?
Yeah,
Ah, well, thank you. Is this our last show, Nancy?
it is.
I felt like a farewell. I'm like, I wasn't sure. Well, Nancy, you will never be forgotten. And when I do bring my family out, I will let you know. I'm excited. We have a little Marriott timeshare, so I use that. So won't be staying in any fancy places, but we'll come down for a week, hopefully soon. And yeah, hopefully next year, I think we're going to look into doing a little desert type trip. So
That would be great. That would be
thank
really
you.
great.
I appreciate you being here, always being so amazing, so kind, and really so knowledgeable in all she does. NancyHugo.com. Check her out, and wishing you the best of luck with everything.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me the time. I feel like, now because you're in New York, I feel like I'm part of New York again.
Oh, well, thank you, Nancy. Fantastic having you, and looking forward to the next time we connect, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Have a great
Thanks so
day,
much.
Jill.
You too. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up after the break. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.